Hi. If I read a sentence you wrote and I understood the meaning, it would be okay, right? But what if I didn't understand what you meant to say because of the grammar error? So there are two types of errors. Ones that are minor because the reader still understands the meaning. And the other one is completely breaks the sentence. There's no clear sense of what the writer wanted to say. So today I will show you how you can avoid making both local versus global errors, and especially global errors because they're serious. Let's look at the two sentences here. She go to work every day, and because she go to work every day. Is there a difference? Do you see a difference between the two sentences? Do you understand what the writer meant to say? She go to work every day. I think that's clear. The meaning is clear. Somebody goes to work every day, Monday through Friday, for example. But the second one, because she go to work every day, is not clear, right? Is it? So the first one is a local error. There is a problem. There is an error in the first sentence, but we understand it. But the second one is hard to understand. The sentence just breaks down because she go to work every day. The reader says, then what? Complete your thought. It's not a complete sentence, right? So remember, the purpose of writing is to make yourself understood or make the reader understand your meaning. So good writing is not about being 100% perfect, but it's about being understood. And that is what we will do today. We will learn how to write sentences that make sense to the reader. So let's dive into it. This is a very common error, subject-verb agreement errors that my students make. She go to work every day. There's an issue there, right? Because it should be she goes, not she go. She, just one person, a singular noun. She go to work every day, just one person. She goes is the correct way to say it. But does it really make a big difference? You understand. She goes to work every day. So that is why these types of errors are called local errors. All right, let's do an exercise, a quick exercise. Fix the verb. He worked late on Fridays. The results shows improvement. Many students prefers online classes. Okay, pause the video here and complete the exercise. Okay, the answers are, he works late on Fridays. The results show improvement, not the results shows. Many students. So there's more than one student, right? 3, 4, 10, 15, many students. So because the subject is a plural noun, more than one students, the verb cannot take the S, the third person singular marker, prefers. A student prefers and the many students prefer. That's a subject-verb agreement rule in English. Very good. All right, participles. I am boring in class and I'm bored in class. Do you know the difference between the two? Right? My students always say, I'm not interesting. And they mean to say, I am not interested in this lesson or in this topic. I don't want to talk about this, Professor Warsi. I am not interesting. They mean to say, I am not interested. Okay? So choose and fix. There are 3 sentences that I need you to rewrite. All right? The lecture was bored. I'm confusing about the instructions. And this topic is interested. All right? Can you fix the errors? Rewrite the sentences and we will look at the answers together. The lecture was boring, right? How could the lecture be bored? Only humans could be both bored and boring. I'm confused about the instructions. And this topic is interesting. Great. Articles. Now, articles are tricky because in many languages, people don't use articles. They'll just say, I bought car or look at house. But in English, We use three articles. I saw a movie. An, I ate an orange. And I went to the mall, if the listener knows the mall that you're referring to. She is a best student. No, she is the best student, right? I bought the laptop yesterday, but I don't know which laptop. You haven't told me about the laptop. It's the first time you're mentioning it. So you should say, I bought a laptop yesterday. All right, fix the article. 3 sentences, rewrite all of them, and then we will move on. Pause the video, rewrite the sentences. He is the most experienced teacher. She wants to buy a car someday. I want to buy a new car someday. A car, not the car. Honesty is an important value, not the honesty, because you can't count honesty. You can't say 3 honesties, right? Honesty is an important value. So far, so good? We're doing well? Great. Count versus non-count nouns. I just mentioned, right, that honesty cannot be counted, nor can be love. So you can't say, like, I'll give you 3 loves. You just say, I love you. All right, many informations are online. Much information is online. Information is a non-count noun. You cannot count. Like milk cannot be counted. Bottles can be counted. So we don't say milks. I need milks. Rewrite the sentences correctly. Okay? There's something wrong, right, in each one of them. I need you to read the sentences carefully and rewrite them using correct grammar. There is much advice available. Advice is not a count noun. So you can't say there are much advices available. She gave me some feedback. Too much equipment was damaged. All right, so these are all local errors because the meaning is still clear. I understand what the writer wants to say. Spelling. Now, spelling could be serious, right? Because form and from are spelled differently. F-O-R-M, form, and F-R-O-M, from. These are 2 complete different words. Correct the spelling errors in these sentences. This definitely improves your writing. D-E-F-I-N-I-T-E-L-Y. Received and separated. So when you write an essay for your professor, be sure to spell the words correctly. Word order. A fancy term for word order is syntax. Okay, in English, all languages have a syntax. Words appear in a certain order. I very much like this course. That's incorrect, right? Because you're going to say, I like this course very much. Or in spoken English, oh, I like this course a lot. Or I like this professor a lot. Reorder the sentences. There are 3 sentences, and the word order is wrong. Can you rearrange the words to make them grammatically correct, grammatically sound? Okay. All right, so these are the answers. How are you doing so far? Yeah, these are actually easy fix, right? Because these are all local errors, meaning that the sentences are understandable. The reader can understand. If you said, she carefully very explained the rule, the reader knows she is somebody and she is doing the explaining a certain type of rule, and she is doing it very carefully. But the grammar is damaged. It's broken, but not as serious as a global error, which we will study later. Okay, prepositions. Now, this is very common. My ESL students who says, I'm learning a lot on the course, on this course. And they mean to say in the course, because course is not something that you can sit on, right? Like the book is on the table, or she is sitting on the couch, on the couch. A course, it cannot be touched. It's this, not a tangible noun. She's in the course. She's on the course. She's in the course. Fix the prepositions in the 3 sentences. All right, this should be easy for you. This is not that hard. It's an easy exercise. He is interested in linguistics. The preposition about is not needed. It's a very common error. I hear my students say, oh, let's discuss about this. No, there's no about after discuss. We discussed the issue. She's responsible for the project, not of the project. All right, plurals. $3 to cat. Do you notice the error? The S is missing, the plural marker S. 1 cat, 2 cats. Right? $1, $3. All right, so fix the plural errors in the 3 sentences. Pause the video. 5 students attended the lecture. 2 houses were sold. Several children were present. Word forms. So word, takes on different forms. The endings change, right? Like hard and hardly, product and productive, producer, productively, production. The test was difficulty. The test was difficult. Difficulty is a noun. Difficult is an adjective. Okay, so choose the correct form. I've given you 2 forms for each sentence, and your task is to choose the correct one. All right, this was easy, right? But as you notice, these are all local errors. So they are not very hard to fix. Okay? These sentences can be easily repaired because they're all local. The meaning is clear already. There's just a small, slight grammar error there that can be fixed. And you're doing that. So great. Verb forms. I am disagree with you. Right? I am not agree with you. I am agree with you. These are all incorrect verb forms. I am disagree with you should be I disagree with you. I enjoy reading novels. So can you fix the verb patterns now in the 3 sentences? Pause the video. Pause the video and do this exercise. It shouldn't be hard. I'll wait for you to finish the exercise and then I will show you the answers. She suggested changing the plan. Remember, suggest, the verb suggest is not followed by to. I suggest to change the plan. No, I suggest changing the plan. Not I am agree with the conclusion, I agree with the conclusion. He avoided to answer the question. No, he avoided answering the question. So verbs such as suggest, avoid, prefer, they're followed by a gerund, the ing form of the verb. She suggested changing. He avoided answering the question. Okay, very good. So these were local errors that are very common in student writing. Most students make those local errors, but they're not a big problem, as I said before, because the meaning is clear, right? All sentences are understandable. Can you fix these, the last exercise before we move on to global errors? There are 3 types that are a big problem. So these sentences are all understandable. You know what the writer means. The lecture was bored and confusing. Can we fix these errors? Just take a few seconds to do this and then we'll move on. The lecture was boring and confusing. The lecture cannot be bored, right? The lecture is not a human, it's not a person. But humans can be bored. I am bored. This movie is so boring. Much information was presented. Many informations. Remember, information is not a count noun. You cannot count information. I strongly agree with you, or I agree with you very strongly, or I agree with you strongly. Okay, now let's study global errors, part 2 of this lesson. Now, global errors are serious because the writer loses the reader. The reader says, I don't understand you. Well, what do you mean? This sentence is not clear at all. I don't understand. I'm not following you. So, what is a sentence fragment? A sentence that is incomplete. The idea is incomplete. It's not a complete thought because the experiment failed. The reader says, okay, so finish your thought. Tell me more. What happened? Because the experiment failed, what happened? While preparing for the exam, stop. Nothing. That's an incomplete sentence, right? Wouldn't you say? Because the experiment failed, the data was rejected. Okay, now the reader is happy. The reader says, I understand you. While preparing for the exam, she reviewed her notes. The reader says, good, I understand your meaning, right? So the 2 exercises I would like you to do, this is one of the most serious global errors in writing, and I need you to avoid making them when you write a paper for your professor, all right? So write F for fragment or S for sentence. 1, 2, 3, there are 3 sentences. Read them carefully and think to yourself, is this a complete thought or is it an incomplete sentence? For exercise B, there are 3 fragment sentences. I need you to write complete sentences. Complete them. Although the test was difficult, complete the sentence. All right, so pause the video and enjoy doing these exercises, okay? I want you to have fun while you're learning. Pause the video and complete the exercises. Okay, so 1 is a fragment. Because the instructions were unclear, incomplete thought. The instructions were unclear. It's a complete sentence, right? The students did not understand the professor's instructions. And although many students studied, then what happened? Although many students studied. Okay, are you ready for the next exercise? The answers? Here they are. Although the test was difficult, many students passed. That's a beautiful sentence. Because the students did not proofread, they made many errors. While reviewing the draft, she noticed several mistakes. Okay, good. All right, the second serious global error is a run-on sentence. Run-on sentences, is pretty obvious. They keep running on. They don't stop. I finished my homework. I went to bed. The results were unclear. The study continued. So do not make these errors in your writing. Right? Proofread. Make sure that your ideas flow smoothly. Fix the run-on here. Rewrite. She studied all night. She passed the exam. The professor was sick. The class was canceled. And do exercise B and exercise C. So this would take you a few minutes. Just pause the video, read each and every sentence carefully, and rewrite it. Rewrite it, making it grammatically correct and understandable. All right. So let's go at it. She studied all night. Pause. You see, the idea is complete right there. She studied all night, comma, so she passed the exam. That's a compound sentence. Two independent clauses connected by a conjunction. So the professor was sick, comma, so the class was canceled. All right, so these are the answers to the 3 exercises. We have one more global error to study, and we will be done. So the last one, this is very common. My students make this error all the time, comma splices. They put a comma and then they write another sentence. And there is nothing connecting the 2 sentences. The test was hard, comma, many students fail. The meaning is very confusing to the reader because there's no connection between the 2, right? Do you see any so, and, but in between? Nothing. This is just a comma and a new sentence starts. This is a serious global error because it's very confusing to the reader. Comma splices, avoid them, okay, at all time. I like this course, comma, it is useful. Okay, again, the same issue here. Do not just put a comma between 2 sentences and move on. You need a conjunction or just put a period at the end of the first sentence and start the second sentence. So, exercise A, read the 3 sentences and determine if they're okay or there's a problem. Exercise B, repair the comma splice. And exercise C, there are 2 sentences. Determine if they're a run-on or a comma splice. All right? All right, so take some time, pause the video, and complete the test, the exercises. The test was hard, comma, many students failed. That was incorrect, right? But the lecture was long, comma, but informative. That's okay. The lecture was long, comma, it was informative. That's the problem. Students were tired, comma, so they left early. That's okay. And consider the answers to exercise B and exercise C. In exercise C, 1 is a run-on sentence. I finished my draft, I submitted it. Yeah? I finished my draft, comma, I submitted it. All right. So here's a diagnostic. For each sentence, I just need you to identify if it's a local error or a global error. So I'm asking you to do 2 things. First, say, because many students were stressed, it does not sound good. I don't think it's a complete sentence. Let me fix it. I know this is understandable, or maybe I don't understand this sentence. It must be a global error. And then rewrite and make the sentences grammatically correct. All right? Because many students were stressed. It's a global error, right? It's a fragment. A fragment means an incomplete sentence. The test was difficulty. We understand, right? The test was difficult. The student made an error, a small error. So it's a local error. The test was difficult. Many informations were available. Much information was available. And she studied all night. She passed. That's a run-on. Yeah, because there's no comma between the 2 ideas. Okay, so thanks. If you have come this far, I thank you for being patient and for doing all of the exercises I gave you. Let me leave you with a comment challenge, all right? It's a strong, clear, and action-based task. Write 3 sentences. Write 1 sentence with a local error, but don't go back and look at the examples, because now you have learned a lot of good information. You've learned rules. You've learned how to fix local and grammar global errors. I need you to write 1 sentence with a local error. I need you to write a sentence fragment and 1 run-on or comma splice. So do both. Write 1 sentence that has a run-on, another one with a comma splice. And then First, write them incorrectly. Write 3 ungrammatical sentences. Right? This is strange. You're saying this professor wants me to write wrong sentences, but it's for your own good. Then I want you to rewrite them correctly so that you will know what not to do and what to do. Okay? And I need you to ask yourself, which type of error do you make most often? And why do you think that error keeps happening in your writing? Ask yourself, which type of error do I make most often? And why do I keep making it? Okay? All right. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this lesson, please take other lessons. There are so many lessons I have created for you. Share the lesson with your friends and family, whoever is learning English as a second language, and work hard. Write in the comments below any questions you have or the sentences that you are going to create. Write them and I'll give you my feedback. All right, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.